All right, here's that dinner skinner. Let us go shape some handles. And I'll drink my coffee down there in the shop. Let that sit in there a minute. Good enough. One hour. Okay, well that one is cooking. I have got the basic shape of this handle established. Now it's all hand sanding from here. I just had someone ask me a question why I don't do more of my work on my belt grinder. And it's a legitimate question. There are people that do the majority of their work on the belt grinder. I'm just not able to. You know, I was in an accident several years ago, some of y'all remember, and it left me with a lot of conditions that I have to work around. So I'm limited as to the length of time I can stand in one spot, and I have to really force myself and concentrate to stop my hands from shaking. So I have to grind my bevels somewhat quickly and then get off the machine and sit. So that's why I stop at getting my bevels established, and then I come over here and I do a lot of hand work, mostly because I have to. That's all. So that's why. Lisa Haven blocked me. Mark Dice blocked me. Pastor Begley blocked me. And all because I left comments that they didn't like. They were not mean comments. They weren't smart-ass comments. Lisa Haven was pimping this cheap Chinese piece of junk flashlight. And I wouldn't say a word, except the name of the flashlight is called The Patriot. And, you know, that's sort of like going to Harbor Freight and buying an American flag made in China, I mean, I want to punch people when I see them do that. That's just people. Maybe people don't feel like I do. Probably not. But I just can't believe there's people that would buy a Chinese-made American flag or pimp a flashlight called the Patriot, obviously made in China with Chinese junk. So I said something to Lisa politely about why not represent a couple of American companies, and I know two of them, Rada Cutlery and All American Sun Ovens. 100% American, 100% American products. The components that go into them are American. The packaging is made here in America. 100% America from start to finish. There's clothing companies. You know, the place I buy my fat guy bib overalls, Roundhouse up in Oklahoma. 100% American made. There's lots of companies that are American made. And it just seems like pimping Chinese products, especially something called the Patriot, is really disingenuous and unethical. So she blocked me. And I left the same comment on Pastor Paul Begley's channel. He was pimping the same stupid flashlight. It's a $75 flashlight called a Patriot. It's a piece of junk. They're like $11 on what's that, Alibaba or something like that. And there's other places you can get them for $2 and $3 if you buy 1,000 of them. So they're absolute junk. And then Mark Dice had this video. You know, I'm a fat guy, and I'm fat for one reason. I eat a lot. I'm not one of them people that say, oh, I got a slow metabolism. No, I eat more than I burn. Plain and simple. I like to eat. But, you know, I've quit cigarettes. I had a 3-pack-a-day habit, quit cold turkey. I used to drink whiskey by the gallon. I quit. I used to do a lot of drugs. I quit. My weight is something I have not been able to conquer. Anyway, Mark Dice had a long video making fun of fat people. And I left a comment, just like what I said. You know, Mark, I've managed to quit cigarettes. I've managed to quit booze. I managed to quit drugs. And my weight is something that I've struggled with for a very long time. But thank God there's people like you to remind me of my failure every day. That's all I left. And he blocked me. So I'm a proud American that wants other people to sell American products if they can, instead of pimping Chinese junk. And if you're going to pimp Chinese junk, don't pimp something called the Patriot or an American flag made in China. And my God, lay off fat people. For crying out loud, we don't bother nobody. I mean, maybe we take up a little more room on an airplane, but there's lots worse things in life. Anyway, moving on. Let me get to sand in here. You know, this vise is a perfect example of American-made products that I represent. And this is a Chuck Ward knife vise. I sell this for $140 shipped to your door. It comes with another piece that I don't use, but you might find handy. That goes on back here. And it allows you to do, you know, swivel it and do a lot more with it. But I use it just like that. So I saved this piece. And if I ever die and my wife sells this vise, she can sell that piece with it. But American made. The guy lives in Arkansas. And he invented it. He made it. He, you know, he's got a little company that he sells them. And I spoke to, he's deaf. So I speak to his wife when I do talk, and she's almost deaf. So I yell to her, and she yells to him, and he yells back to her, and then she yells to me. So I find that communicating through email with him is much better, even though he might take him a day or two to get back. So, but, you know, American made. I sell these for $140 right to your door, which is cheaper than, there's a few other places on the internet that sell these at a much higher price. So anyway, I do make a few dollars selling these. So if you want one, let me know. It's American made. All right. This is the dinner skinner for Frank. Wait till you see what 3 or 4 coats of True Oil is going to make this look like. That is some beautiful wood. Okay, the Cato tempered for an hour, and then I just let it stay in there and cool down. I'm fixing to go get it, clean it up, get my handles cut out, and by the end of the day I'll have them epoxied on. And tomorrow is a work day. Tomorrow I got to work outside, so I'll get back on this next week on knives. I don't know if I'll get out here Sunday or not, but I may upload my rant video Sunday. Alrighty, see you soon. Okay, this is Glenn's Cato out of the oven. Now I have to start the cleanup. It seems like such a waste, and there's no way around it too, to get this thing to nearly finished state, and then to have to go almost back to square one to clean this back up. And you have to, because you can't do any of this cleanup, or you can't do any of the shaping and polishing and sanding after you heat treat it. The best you can do is clean it up and make it look like it did before you heat treated it. So, let me get to work. All right, fixing to put the Honduran rosewood on the Cato. I got my epoxy here. Let me get that all mixed up, and let me get my clamps over here. And the next time you see this, I will be sanding it down, making nice handles. Maybe Sunday. All right, this is there's Glenn's all glued up, and I'm gonna start sanding on Jeff's. This is my last piece of cherry burl. I do have a little piece here, but I think I can make a neck knife out of what's left here of the cherry burl. And that is the last of my cherry burl. I did send some out to have it stabilized, but it might take a month and a half to get it back. I sent it up to a company in Wisconsin that's what they do. Anyway, this is Jeff in Montana. That's gonna be his. Let me get to sanding. Well, these last two slabs of cherry burl are a little bit thin. They won't, if I don't put liners in them, it won't allow me enough of my own shaping that I do to my handles. There'll be more of square on the side, and I really like to round mine. So I'm gonna have to use some veneer. This is white oak veneer, and I'm gonna have to use them as liners. It'll look nice. I've done it before. I've got a lot of knives with dual wood used as liners, and they do look nice, especially when they're contrasting. So, Jeff, if that's okay with you, I'm going to go ahead and do that on this one. All right, that's all for this video. The next knife making video you see, I'll be sanding on that, and depending on what Jeff says, gluing this together. In the meantime, I'll be working on the knife.